Hey, it's Kim Komando today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to Komando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. I always like to start with something interesting. And Facebook released the number of users that they have all around the world. Now, these are people who sign in every single day. It's what the tech world calls active users. So, how many active users does Facebook have? Now, remember, this is every single country all around the world. So, let me give you a hint. Say there are 7.9 billion people on the planet. How many of them have a Facebook account? The answer is, drum roll please, 2 billion people, right? Crazy, isn't it? Or around 25% of the world's population actually has a Facebook account and they sign in. I mean, isn't that something? I mean, who would have thought back in 2004 a bunch of these Harvard college students could have created such a force? Hey, by the way, they called it Facebook because it reminded them of these online directories of students that had their photos. But do you know what the P in Facebook stands for? Do you know what the P in Facebook stands for? Privacy. Yeah, I know. There's no P and there's no privacy on Facebook at all. Hey, listen, you're about to get more tech smarts because every single thing is now a tech thing. And if you're a new listener to the Kim Komando Show, hey, welcome. I'm so glad to have you with us. And if you're already a listener, hey, that's sweet. Welcome back. And I'm sure you have at least a few questions about something digital I can lend a hand to. And that's why our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. Or if you're just too shy to come on a big-time show and podcast, you can always drop me your questions right on our website. That's Komando.com, of course. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. All right, every single day, yes, even Saturday and Sundays, I visit at least 30 different websites to make sure that I'm up to date on everything digital. And this is part of the show where I like to talk about the top 5 things that you need to know that's happening in the news and around the world. And everybody around the world is talking about one thing, it seems like. No, not Elon Musk. ChatGPT. And Microsoft says they're going to lay off thousands of workers this year, all while the company is investing more than $10 billion into ChatGPT. Now, if you've used it, you know what it does. The AI chatbot writes letters, debugs code, answers any single question you might have, and a whole bunch more. It's totally incredible. Now, once it improves, more tasks will be thrown its way. But just like cars ran down horse and buggy drivers in the early 20th century, AI is going to displace workers just about every segment. So what top industries are at risk? Publishing, they say, software programming, graphic design. It sounds really scary, but just keep in mind that people always adapt to new tech. They always do. I mean, when the horse and buggy vanished, we had truck drivers and cabbies, and now we have Uber drivers. Certainly, there's a lot of room for AI to improve. And Microsoft may lay off folks to invest in ChatGPT, but here's the bottom line. A human will always be needed to monitor the AI, well, at least in our future. But I want you to think of ChatGPT like a calculator. Okay, we still need to know our math. We still need to read and write, but it just makes things a little bit easier. All right, number 2 on our list is about planet Earth and EVs, the destruction that they don't talk about. Some 1,500 private jets recently carried global leaders and wealthy activists to Switzerland to discuss, are you ready for it? Global warming. That's right. But back here in the real world, we're told that our gas-powered cars, it's just going to totally end the planet. But as it turns out, electric vehicles are bringing some earthly devastation of its own. I mean, listen to this. For America to transition to electric vehicles, it's going to require 3 times as much lithium as is currently produced for the entire world. Now, you have to know this too. Lithium is mined mostly in Australia and China. So a couple of things to consider. First, we're on the verge of a war with China. I know you don't want to think about it, but depending on China for anything is dangerous. And secondly, in Australia, we're going to need to quadruple the number of lithium mines. So this is going to cause needless water shortages. Of course, we're going to have land grabs, massive ecosystem destruction. So what about EV? Is it still the answer? Well, I have to tell you, there's this great website, in case you're thinking about getting an EV, just as a total side note. It's called chooseev.com, and it works swell. You just plug in the price of gas and kilowatt hour, the make and model of your car, and the site will tell you how much it costs you per mile to drive the EV that you want, or maybe the one that you already own. The site, again, is called chooseev.com. All right, number 3 on our list. Oh, Gen Zers, they're at it again. Another viral TikTok trend, only this time it's not silly and it's not dangerous. Well, here's the deal. Gen Zers on TikTok have discovered cash stuffing, or at least they think that it's something new. Just like it sounds, instead of running up credit card bills, they take cash and they stuff it away into envelopes or folders, and they label it things like groceries, savings, parties, gifts, fun, money, whatever it may be. And then when they have enough in each envelope, they spend it. Oh, gosh, so new. No credit cards, and they're dealing with all cash. All right, number 4 on our list is YouTube's new labels. They have something called the so-called reliable doctor rating for certain videos made by healthcare professionals. So, can you trust it? YouTube is allowing licensed doctors, nurses, psychologists, marriage counselors, family therapists, social workers to now apply for what's called a reliability rating. It's going to be superimposed on all their videos. But here's the caveat. There's always a but when it comes to YouTube. YouTube really cannot determine the quality of any particular healthcare professional. It only is going to verify that they have a license. So always remember this. Just because a YouTube video shows a reliable seal doesn't make it safe, doesn't make it true. Because after all, you know what they call the person who graduates last from their medical class? You know what they call them? Yeah, doctor. And finally, this coming in at number 5, even in the best of times, dating has never been easier. I don't know if you've seen the Tinder swindler, but a lot of daters are getting more proactive, especially women. So the real question is, how can you be really sure that the person that you're dating is who or what they say that they are? So get this, about 30% of men and women admit that before the date, they check the background of their potential dinner partner. That's just so smart. Nothing fancy. They just Google the name. They check their LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. And they say they spend about a half hour going through their online dating history, and they start looking for some juicy details. Well, after the date, almost 60% of men and women admit to stalking their date online just to see what they're up to, and this includes a complete online background check. Wow, isn't that something? Hey, speaking of dating, a friend told me she was just super excited about this guy that she met online, and his profile said that he had a corner office with views of the entire city. He drove a $500,000 vehicle, and he gets paid to travel. Yeah, she was kind of disappointed, though, when it turned out that he was a bus driver. All right, stay right where you are, because I have some great tips and tricks and secrets that you don't want to miss, like how to use your phone to hang pictures the easy way, and talk about how you can record your computer screen for free, how to find every Wi-Fi network password, and also later on how to get the cheapest airfare by using the best websites, and of course your phone calls on the Kim Komando Today podcast. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. Now, here's the deal. If you're not following me on Twitter or on Instagram, I have to tell you that my account is now locked. So if you want to follow me, you have to make a request, and I'm going to go ahead and say yes, but I just want to encourage you to go ahead and follow us on all social media, including Facebook, and also that's LinkedIn, and it's always at Kim Komando. All right, coming up in just a few moments, how you can use your phone to hang pictures the easy way, but how about we start with all of your great calls, and JP, you're up first.
How you doing, Kim? Long time.
Well, good.
I've been listening to you for, got to be 25 years now.
Well, I think you almost, pretty close.
Yeah.
But thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Anyhow, I got a teenage son, and we live in a society where we need to keep our kids safe.
Correct.
And I'm trying to come up with an app that I can use just to track where his phone is. I don't want to spy on him. I don't want to, be the helicopter parent type thing. Right. I just want to be able to keep my kids safe.
Okay.
We've tried Life 360, and that just isn't holding up because I guess there's a TikTok hack to shut that one down. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking for a recommendation.
Well, here's the deal. It's not just a TikTok hack. I mean, if you do a search for turn off Live 360, it probably will put, here, I can tell you, it's going to say how to turn off location on Live 360 without anyone knowing. 6 ways to turn off location tracking. How do I turn off Live? I mean, The kids are swapping ways to do this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you put on his phone for location tracking, he will figure out a way to turn it off. Okay, it's just that simple. What kind of phone does he have?
He has an Apple.
Okay. So he's got an iPhone. All right. So, there's no real fix here because he's smart enough, whatever you put on there, he's going to take it off. So we have to approach it from another angle. Okay.
Okay.
And this is what I did with my son, and it worked. Is that I sat him down, I explained to him that having an iPhone is not for him to watch TikTok videos. Okay? That's not why he has that. He has it so that you know where he is and you always know he's safe. And explain to him, listen, I'm not going to look at everything that you're doing. Okay? But I just want to be able to pick up my phone and know that you're at school or at a friend's house or that you're not in some ditch in a car, right? Because I worry about you because you're my life. You are. And if something were to happen to you, I would be devastated beyond means. Okay.
Yeah, because he is a new driver as well.
Okay. In his car, I want you to put an air tag. And if you don't have an iPhone, then you're going to need to get an iPhone because it's easier for you to track his iPhone on your iPhone. And it's also with an air tag, you can slip one in his car. He won't even know it's there. He might be alerted.
Okay.
I shouldn't say that. He might be alerted to it, but I never hid anything from Ian. I mean, I had a tracker in his car too. And I said, so this is the way it is. If you don't like it, then you can go out and you can pay for everything yourself. But until you're 18, I'm solely responsible for you for everything that you do. Okay. You're not 18, you're 15. So this is life. And I'm sorry, it's crappy. You don't like it. But I tried Life 360 on your phone. You kept turning it off. Well, that's not an option. Okay. And I know it's hard to have these. It's hard because, he's gonna buck. He is. You remember what it was like being his age, right? I mean,
all too well.
Okay. And thank God, right, JP? Thank God they didn't have this tech when we were growing up. Oh my gosh. Okay. But they have it now. And it's really hard to have these, what we call come to Jesus conversations with the kids. But he shouldn't be taken off Life 360. You're paying for the phone. Until 18, you are responsible for every single thing that this kid does. And if he's smart, and I know he is because you're smart, he's going to say, he's going to buck a little bit. But at the end of the day, you're going to get what you want, and that's to make sure that you have peace of mind wherever he's going and you know where he is. I can't stress the importance of setting clear rules and guidelines for your teenagers about phone usage, such as when they're allowed to use it and for how long. You need to have these open and honest conversations with them about the reasons behind all the rules. And then what's also important is that you want to listen to their perspective as well. Chris in Naples, Florida. Hi there, Chris.
Hi, Kim. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. How can I help you?
Well, I am looking for an easy iPhone phone call recorder. I've seen a couple that also transcribe, which would be wonderful. I'm a journalist, and I've always recorded interviews in person or by phone, both for my protection, of course, and for the subjects, and to ensure that I have all the quotes exact. Nobody wants to be misquoted. That was equipment, the old recorders and cassettes and digital and such. You're probably too young to remember those days, but it did the trick. But that's impossible with iPhones. For example, I'd be recording this if I could, so that I would get all of your answers and be able to refer to that as opposed to taking notes. So help.
help me. All right, so here's the deal. Just a little fun fact for you is that the way that the way that it works recording telephone calls on an iPhone, that it's actually a three-way call merge. And so it means it connects to the call and then it records both sides of the conversation. Okay. Now, there are free apps and there are paid apps. There's Tape-A-Call Pro. I think it has a free 14-day trial, and after that, it's like $10 a month. But it does recording, playback, call sharing, call tagging, things like that. An app that is free is called Call Recorder Lite, and it allows you to record both incoming and outgoing. And what's nice about this one is that you can actually share recordings on. You can upload them right to Dropbox if you wanted to keep them there.
Okay.
You can text the calls. You can send them by email, and another one is called a Rev Call Recorder. But I think if you were asking me which one, and again, if this was my profession, I probably would be using Tape a Call Pro because it's paid. I get that. It's $10 a month, but you know that it's going to work. And if this is how you're making your money, sometimes it's like, okay, I got to invest a little bit. The transcribe, there's a website that I use for transcriptions for audio files. It's just amazing, Chris. It's called otter.ai, just like an otter.
Oh, Otter. Okay.
OTTER.ai. And with otter.ai, one of the really cool things about this is that you can give it the audio file. And if you have like 2 or 3 or even 5 people in the conversation, Chris, it will say person number 1, person number 2.
Oh, fabulous.
Like, oh, I know. And you're like, whoa. And then what you can do is say person number 1 is Chris, person number 2 is Kim, person number 3, obviously, and you go on. So this way, when you look at the transcription, you don't have to say, okay, who the heck was person number 4 again? And what was that about? So, try Tape a Call Pro. And if you don't want to pay for it, next one is Call Recorder Lite. And then when it comes time to transcribe these phone calls, otter.ai, they have a free trial program, then they're going to pay. But such is life. But if you always have a lot of transcriptions, just remember you can always find some good people do that over at Fiverr.com. Chris, thank you for your call. Oh, one thing that I want to mention is make sure that you always are complying with the law in your state, because generally speaking, it falls into one of 2 categories: one-party consent and also two-party consent. One-party consent, two-party consent, you can figure that one person needs to know, and otherwise they have to have 2 people knowing. So federal law also applies to the recording of phone calls. So I can't stress this enough either, is that I want to make sure that you're always a legal eagle when it comes to recording those phone calls. All right, this is a great tip you're going to use time and time again. Let's say you need to hang a picture. One is easy, but what if you have 3, 4, 5 or more pictures with 2 hooks on the back and you want them exactly 5.5 inches apart on the wall? Well, what you want to do is use an app to hang a picture. You tell the app how many pictures, hooks, and dimensions, and then you know exactly where to place the nails. And you can see on the app, or the app will email you complete directions. The app that you want to use is Hang a Pic. Yes, just what it sounds like, Hang a Pic. Now, your iPhone has a level tool, and open the Measure app, and then you can tap level on the bottom right. And the level will appear on the screen. It's ready to use. And on Android, we love you too. Open the Google app or your browser and search for Bubble Level. All your pictures are going to be hanged just at the right height, and they're all going to be beautiful and just level. We love that. All right, stay right where you are. We have more of your phone calls, as well as how to get the cheapest airfare on the Kim Komando Today podcast. Hey, coming up in just a few moments, how to find every Wi-Fi network password. You know what I mean? You try to sign into a Wi-Fi network, you're like, dang, I don't remember the password is. I'm going to tell you how you can find it. And then later on this hour, how to get the cheapest airfare, because believe it or not, spring is right around the corner. And before we get to all of that in your phone calls, let's talk about recording your computer screen. And you can actually do it for free. Have you ever wanted to do that? Maybe it's a video call, you're playing a game, or it's just a series of steps to get something done that you want to share with somebody. Now, you do not need to buy a separate app or program, because your PC or Mac will do it the easy way and do it for free. So let's start with Windows. Now, you may not know this, but Windows comes with a terrific screen recording tool called the Xbox Game Bar. I know you're saying, Kim, this is Windows. Why are you talking about Xbox? Now, even though it's designed for gamers, it works on all sorts of purposes. You can record yourself in almost any Windows app, so it's ideal for anything you might need to record on Microsoft Office too. Now, on your Mac, it's just 3 keys. You want to hit the Shift plus the Command plus the 5, and then that will record the whole screen. Now, you can also select a portion of the screen to record if you want to leave everything else out. Now, we have all the steps on how to use both over at our website, Komando.com. Just search for Record Computer Screen. All right, Bill, glad to have you with us.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for having me on.
You betcha. You betcha. What's going on? How can I help you out?
Well, about 45 years ago, I was in an old-time rock and roll band, and my best friend was in it with me. And we have decided that we would like to play guitars together again and maybe recreate some of that music. But our problem, Kim, is that we live 1,200 miles apart at this time.
Yes.
So we set out to figure out a way that we could do that.
Okay.
And we found some software, and there's different varieties out there, and we downloaded it. And in doing that, we found that we need a audio interface, and we did that. So last Sunday, we decided to do a little sound check to see if we had all the components in place and if this would work. So we did the sound check, and everything worked other than a few little glitches, and he came up and I came up. But what we noticed is people from anywhere also joined the session.
Oh, gosh.
So we found that there's a private setting where it would only be he and I, except there's a note on there that says anybody can still listen and watch your session. Yeah. So my question for you is, are we safe in this format? Our personal computers and our personal information?
Well,
or is there a way
that's a really good question, because you sent me an email and I looked up the website that you guys are using. And the first thing that popped up on my screen was that it's not secure. And so I would not recommend you using this particular website. It's Jam Studio. I would, and there's a Chrome extension that you can put on HTTPS anywhere, everywhere, that will make a unsecure site secure. But I still think there are better options. Like, I think there's Jam Kazam. That's Jam and Jam Kazam. They do remote music rehearsals. They also have 4,000 plus songs and in their library. And I think that I would feel better if you guys were using that instead of the one that you're using. Then there's also another option. I don't think you need this option, but just something to put in the back of your heads, because now you guys are going to get back. You're going to be starting, putting on those rock and roll T-shirts again, and you're saying, okay, we are ready to go. We are going to go big time. We are going big time, right?
Yeah, this time we're going to make it.
This time we're going to make it, right? Because you know what? I think you have a better shot of making it if I'm not your lead singer, just to let you know, even though I would love to have the job. There's a hardware solution called Jam Link. That's Jam and then LINK. It's a box. And that's where you can connect to each other over the internet, just the audio, but it doesn't have any lag at all. And so if you come into that situation where it's like, they wish there was, wish we could really be more in sync, then you might want to look at a hardware solution. So, but look at this Jam Kazam, and what's your favorite song? What do you guys play?
Oh boy, we go back a ways. The Proud Mary and stuff like that. I can't remember all of them, but. Well, that's one that we've been working on lately. Beast of Burden by the Rolling Stones. We've worked on that. Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys.
You know what's so funny about the Beach Boys?
We can't sing that Beach Boys stuff.
Well, you know what's I'm going to tell you about the Beach Boys is that I ran into the original founder of the Beach Boys, and he listens to the show. And he said to me, Kim, he said, Kim, you know what? You have a great voice. Have you ever tried singing? And I sang to him like, good vibrations. And he looked at me, he said, no, I think you're better on the radio. It's like, okay. I'm like, all right. So if the founder of the Beach Boys tells you can't sing, you have to really listen up. You know what I mean? Hey, don't forget your social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. They also allow you to share music and collaborate with others, as does the audio streaming services like Spotify and SoundCloud. They have built-in collaboration features, so this way you can share playlists and you can also collaborate on music with others. And if you're a big-time recording artist, because I know we have tons of you who are listening throughout the country, I just want to let you know that I'm always available to be your lead singer. I know. I have a really bad voice. It's just kind of a crazy thing. John in Charlotte, South Carolina. Hello there, John.
Hi, Kim. Thank you for taking my call.
You betcha. What's going on?
I will be flying internationally. It's my first international trip, and I will be flying into some kind of rural areas of Canada. And I'm looking for something to track my luggage. I know there's the Apple AirTags and Tiles, but with the rural area, I don't know if there would be the coverage. So I was looking at maybe the active GPS trackers.
Okay.
But
And then what kind? So you're just going into Canada, and are you going into like the deep tundra of Canada, like towards the North Pole, or just like outside of areas of Ontario or Toronto, or what exactly are you going to be doing?
I'll be visiting some people over near Saskatchewan and kind of those more rural areas. Not quite the North
Okay.
Pole, but
Okay. All right.
closer to the States. But
Okay. All right. Well, here's the deal. That the what kind of phone do you have first?
I have a Samsung
Okay.
Android.
Well, okay. So because you have an Android, the Apple AirTags we're going to throw that out the window. Okay.
Mhm.
The Samsung GPS trackers, they don't believe that they work in Canada, but you might have to double check that.
I
But
have.
if you're looking,
They do not.
they do. I didn't think so. I know if you're looking for an active tracker, there's one called Land Air Sea, and it's about $30. But I'll tell you what, it does have a $15 a month charge. So you're going to have to pay the $15, whatever month that you're using it, which may not be bad. It may be worth it to you because it does, as you say, it does do active tracking. It uses actually 4G real-time tracking for, cars, whatever it may be. Some people use them actually to track, their moms and dads. It's waterproof, and you can just shove that thing right in your luggage. And it's really smart, by the way, to put one of these trackers in your luggage. If you don't like the idea of paying $15 a month for something like this, then what you might want to do is just go ahead and do carry-on so that this way you don't have to worry about having your luggage tracked. Tile is also a pretty good option. The Tile app is known, has pretty good reviews as far as being able to be tracked all around the world. So if you don't want to pay the $15 a month for the Land Sea one, then go ahead and just pick up the Tile tracker, and then you don't have that monthly fee, and then you'll be able to track your luggage wherever you go. And John, thank you so much for your call. All right, let's go ahead and do a great tip right now. And I'm telling you, you're going to love this one about Wi-Fi passwords. You're going to sit back one day and go, oh, thank you, Kim Komando. And this week it's brought to us by Total AV. With the countless threats on the internet, from phishing sites to password-stealing malware, you might think the more security you have, the better, right? And while different programs can serve their purpose, you should only be using one antivirus program. So instead of trying to stack antivirus programs one on top of each other, just have one powerhouse for all of your needs. I recommend Total AV's industry-leading security suite. It's so easy to use, and it offers the best protection in the business. In fact, it's received the renowned VB100 award for detecting more than 99% of malware samples for the last 3 years in a row. And this protection covers up to 5 of your or your loved one's devices, all under a single plan. So whether you're on a Windows, Mac, iOS, or Android device, just install the easy-to-use app, and that's it. You're protected. Now, I've negotiated an exclusive introductory discount just for you. Right now, get the first year of Total AV for only $19, but you have to go to the special address, protectwithkim.com. Once again, that's protectwithkim.com. All right, it's happened to me, it's happened to you. You know that you've already been on this Wi-Fi network, but then it pops up and it says, hey, what's the password? Or somebody comes over to your house and says, can you give me your Wi-Fi password? And you're like, don't remember that one. I'm sorry. Now, whether you're on Windows or Mac, you can see every single wireless network that you've ever connected to, along with, yes, the network's password. So like, for example, on my Wi-Fi network list, I found airport terminals, I found friends' houses, and a reminder that I should have left a really bad review at Yelp for this Italian restaurant. But anyway, I digress. This tech trick is super handy. For example, when you want to use a wireless network that you didn't connect to automatically, and then, as I mentioned, you forgot the password. Now, a heads up, you do need to do a bit of digging, but once you find the list, you will always know how to get back to it. So let's start with the Mac. You want to search for keychain access. Then you open up the keychain access, tap passwords. Then you find the Wi-Fi network name and password. Then you got it. That's it. Now, if you're using Windows, I'm sorry, it's not as straightforward. So I hate to do this to you, but you're going to start by going to the Network and Sharing Center, look for connections, and from there, I just want you to nosy around until you see wireless properties. And again, so with a Mac, you're going to start with Keychain Access, and on Windows, the Network and Sharing Center. Either way, every Wi-Fi network password is right there. All right, we have more of your phone calls to come, and I know we are still in winter, but you might be starting to plan or think about some spring and summer travel. And so, still to come, how to get the cheapest airfare and the best sites to use here on the Kim Komando Today podcast. Robert in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hi there, Robert.
Hi, Kim.
Welcome. What's going on?
I'm the president of an antique tractor club. We basically cover...
Ooh, how fun is that?
It's a blast. We basically cover the northern third of Indiana, which is a pretty large geographic region. But in the past, you kind of get in a rut to where you kind of stick in the areas where, the most people are. So I'm looking for an app that will help me subdivide our territory into 3 regions and plot everybody in those regions so we can kind of network them and know better how to maybe have events keyed towards keeping things local, and then also have big events, but then smaller ones in the different regions.
So how many members are in the Antique Tractor Club?
180.
That's enough to be a lot of work. It really is.
Yeah.
Which is pretty more. What's the oldest tractor that is part of the collection that somebody might have?
Well, last weekend I worked on ones built in 1907.
Wow, that's crazy. So, are you guys involved in any of the John Deere right to repair controversy?
No. Actually, we're the color, the red color. But
because I was just thinking that if you maybe antique that you were still working with. See, with John Deere, there's this whole. It's actually was really good for the farmers, is that John Deere wouldn't let farmers repair their own tractors.
Correct.
And they had to buy parts like a light that they could get at Napa Auto Parts was probably $20, but from John Deere was like a couple of $100. So anyway, they finally have the ability to repair their tractors, which is great. All right, let's talk a little bit about some different ways you can do it. Okay, on the lowdown, okay, what you could do is use something like Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. And you list all your club members' contact information, location, and then you can sort it. And then there's an add-on for Excel and also for Google Sheets called Google Maps. And so you can add that, and then you can sort everybody by location. But I have a feeling that you might be better served by getting a true management program. And what I mean by that is that you use a membership software platform that allows you to track each person by, what they like, what kind of tractor they have, where they're located, whether or not they have been to past events, and then they will also, if you charge for any of these events, that the membership software will allow you to collect money. And so I'd like you to take a look at 2 different platforms, okay, Robert?
Yeah.
One's called Club Express, and another one is called Wild Apricot. And these are made truly for you to run any type of club, whether you've got 100 members or you've got 5,000 members, whatever it may be. And what's nice about it, in years past, we used to have to make all this in database, which you could do with Airtable, but I don't think you want to do that. But now you can just pay a fee per month, maybe $20 per month. And then you can start collecting dues, and you can have newsletters, and you don't have to update everybody's contact information because they can update it themselves. They can put in their Visa, MasterCard, PayPal account, whatever it may be. And it truly allows you to have a cohesive place where you can see all the data with all your members, but then individualize and personalize so that this way you could get a map of just people who are located in this particular geographic region. So, you can do it the old school way with Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel, and again, get that Google Maps add-on. That's free, and then you can sort everybody by location. But if you're looking to take your club or your membership to the next level, that's when I want you to take a look at something like Club Express or Wild Apricot. Robert, thank you so much for your call today. Okay, so speaking of tractors, here's a little joke for you. Do you know how to get a country girl's attention? Come on, think about it. Do you know how to get a country girl's attention? All right, you ready for it? Oh, this is bad. It's bad. A tractor. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Hey, by the way, if you're not getting our free newsletters, make sure that you do that. Just head over to komando.com/subscribe. And there we've got every single day, you're going to get our news of the day, some breaking security alerts. And then we also have these fabulous digital life hacks and tips that are going to really make a difference in how you use all your devices in your entire digital life. So just head over to komando.com/subscribe. That's komando.com/subscribe. I know it's hard to believe, but spring is literally right around the corner. And if you're planning a vacation, you need a strat to getting the cheapest airfare. I mean, how much you pay is directly related to how much work you're willing to put into it before you book the trip. I mean, I'm sorry to say that. So the very best place to start your airline search is at Google Flights. Why? It's just so simple to use, and it just has a ton of options. And one of the things that I like to do is always search for flights that have the shortest duration, maybe the least number of stops. And here are some more few secrets. Be sure to select track prices. This is fabulous. You'll automatically get email when the price drops. And there's also this price graph. Wow, check that to see the flight's cost each day into the future. It's super handy, especially if your travel dates are flexible. Now, after Google Flights, head to Skyscanner and then Kayak, and they'll also send you alerts when the price drops. Now, your final stop should be the airline's website, and be sure to look for any stopover opportunities, so this way you have a chance to see a new city. So compare your options, book your flight, and then congratulate yourself, you did it. And now be sure to tell 3 friends about the Kim Komando Show, because after all, knowledge is power.